Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel here. Hey, I have another drone today that was sent to me by the folks at Banggood. And this one is interesting to me. When we talk about these lower priced drones, bargain drones I like to call them, what I'm always looking for is good stabilized video, and there's very, very few of them that provide that, right? Most of them, either the video quality is just poor or it's not stabilized in a way that's useful. In other words, you get a lot of jitters and jello in the video. And to do that, obviously you've got to have a decent camera. And when I'm looking at these bargain drones, I'm not expecting like the super high quality that we get off of DJI products, etc. But it needs to be acceptable. In other words, if somebody's new to the hobby and they're just trying out a drone, they have to see good, reasonable, clear video. And a lot of, like, again, you know, a lot of the lower price drones just cannot produce that. The first one, or one of the best that I've seen so far, is the SJRC F11. Well, SJRC has come out with a new version of that drone. It's the SJRC F11S. And primarily what this one brings to the table is additional range. So it's supposed to go up to 3 kilometers, both FPV and control range, which it would be fantastic. And I can tell you with the original F11, I had no problems with connection on that drone, so this one is supposed to be even better. So let's take this guy out of the box and take a look at it. Oh, and I also want to add at the very start here, this drone is just over $200. I think it's $229 on Banggood right now. So it definitely fits into that bargain drone category, yet provides a reasonable GPS camera drone experience. So let's take it out of the box and take a look at it. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the box. You know, it is showing obviously a 4K camera here, and SJRC is the manufacturer. It does use a 2.4, and I think it says a 5G bridge for the transmission system. If you understand what that means, yeah, you know more than I do. Electronic image stabilization is what that stands for. And then they're saying here, they're showing the controller, 3,000 meter range, 3 kilometers. That's huge. Honestly, that's farther than I would be comfortable flying a drone like this, but well, or any drone for that matter. But in any case, what you're looking for is a nice strong control signal. The original version of this drone provided that. This should be even better. And then I want to point out on this side, it's showing the app that it uses. It uses the SJRC F Pro app, same one that the original F11 used. So we look on the back here, and it's telling us is it's the F11S 4K Pro silvery gray. Yeah, that makes sense for 14 plus, and pictures of the drone and the controller. And then a little bit more about the drone on this side here. That 3K distance again, 26-minute flight time. And honestly, if you get 20 minutes, that would probably be great. Or actually, in my case, what I'm saying is if you anything over 15 to 20 minutes, you're going to be doing good. And again, it talks about the 4K camera and electronic image stabilization. I know this is important. 2-axis mechanical gimbal with 3-axis electronic image stabilization. In my experience on the original F11, that turned out to be a pretty good system and worked quite well. So nothing left to do but take this guy out of the box. You know, I always appreciate good packaging, and this drone is no exception. You get this nice zippered package that you can slide the drone itself out of. And one of the things that a lot of these, I guess you'd call them bargain drones, do well, and that is they always give you a good case. That's always important to me. It helps you keep things organized. And clearly on here it says SJRC Pro EIS, Electronic Image Stabilization. So yeah, I mean, this is a nice bag. You got a carry handle here and a double zipper. So let's quit messing around. Let's just open this guy up. And there it is. You got a foam pad on top. And there's the drone and the controller itself. Let's see. You know, I was going to open up that top bit there, but obviously what you guys want to see is the drone. And this is very familiar to me because it looks just like the other SJRC F11. So there it is. I do want to show you the bottom of the drone. Now, you might think that these are some kind of downward facing sensors. They're not. This has no downward facing sensors at all. So it's just a barometer and GPS that help it hold itself in place. However, my experience with this drone is it is quite stable, at least with with the older version of it. So we'll find out with this guy too. And those are just cooling vent holes there. So and then on the back, not much to see there. Battery on the top here. Okay, I took all that cardboard and stuff off camera, so you didn't have to watch all that. But let's go ahead and fold it out. The front arms just fold straight out, and then the rear arms fold straight out, and they give you a good satisfying detent click there when you get them all out. So you know, it's not a small drone, and it is over 249 grams. I don't remember exactly what the weight is, but you know, it's about the equivalent of a Mavic Air 2, something like that. Maybe, yeah, about the same, maybe even a little bit heavier. And you know, size-wise, it's different. I mean, you can see it's thicker, etc. So while we're on this side here, we might as well take a look. That's the SD card slot, and you will want a class 10 or greater SD card. Honestly, I would use a U3. It does record in 4K, so you'd want at least a U3 card. Let's see, then the back, we looked at that before we unfolded it. F11 drone on the back there. USB, and this is cool, USB-C on the battery, so you can charge the battery without it being in the drone, which is a handy feature. I wish I could do that on my much more expensive Mavic 3. In other words, I have to have the battery installed in the drone to charge the battery on my Mavic 3. I just have the standard version, but this bargain drone, you can have the battery out of the drone and charge it. So that's pretty handy. And we did already look at the bottom, but I'll show you that with the drone all folded out again. But again, there's no sensors down there, so not much to look at there. And then, of course, we want to look at the camera here, and there's a little plastic tab here. You push it forward. Pull this straight forward, and there's the gimbal, and we have a little plastic cover on there. I'll take that off, but you know, again, it's just a 2-axis gimbal. It doesn't twist in the yaw direction, but it will, you know, in the side to side and up and down. It'll keep the camera smooth. In that yaw direction, electronic image stabilization should take care of that, and that actually works rather well. If you think about you know, a lot of other drones simply use a 2-axis gimbal, you know, including the original, the DJI Spark was just a 2-axis gimbal, and the only time you really are going to notice any problems if you yaw very quickly. You may notice some stuttering, but that would be the only time that would make a difference. But the electronic image stabilization also works to handle that. So I guess that's about it for the outside of the drone. I think it's attractive. You've got F11 Pro EIS on this arm, and then kind of a little racing stripe on the other arm there. Oh, by the way, these are folding props, as you can see, and brushless motors. It has a claimed top speed of 15 meters per second, so you know, that's about, I don't know, 33, 34 miles an hour, something like that. Let's go ahead and pull the battery out here so we can take a look at that. And I see I just have the single battery version here. So here is the battery, and again, it is a 2500 milliamp hour battery, and you can charge it USB-C right there, which is handy as all get out. I don't know if there's any charge on it. Let's do a quick press. Yeah, I got one quick blink on that battery, but the battery, as I'm sure, is in sleep mode for when they shipped it. I don't know. Let's quickly show you how the battery installs as well, because that's important. And I like these top loader batteries because I just feel more secure. The battery's not going to fall out the bottom or the back, but this one gives you a good secure click when you put it on. Well, I said that and I didn't hear a click, but it's solid. So, and then again, you just press these buttons on the side to pull the battery out. So, anyway, yeah. So that's about it for the drone itself. I guess I could tell you some of the specs. I really didn't talk about the camera much. 4K 30 frames per second. It is they say it's an HDR camera. They also say that it will use the H.265 codec. I will say you'll need a fairly powerful computer to edit with H.265, so I don't know if you can choose H.264 or not. We'll find that out. As far as features of the drone itself, I can't remember if I mentioned it earlier. They're claiming a 26-minute flight time, but it also, in the automated features, it does have a follow me function, and it's got an optical function that I don't know if that'll just work like a cameraman mode, or if the drone will actually follow you when it's in that function. But an optical version. And then it also will have a GPS version. And in the GPS version, the drone will follow you. Now, the problem with GPS follow me is it doesn't always keep you in center of frame. And some drones work better than others. We'll test this one out, and hopefully we'll have time with the one battery to do that. It also has an orbit function and a waypoint function. It's also got gesture mode. I don't find those gesture modes to be very helpful. In other words, you do a hand gesture and it'll take a picture, etc. Well, in my opinion, there is what's the controller for. So, in any case, let's set the drone down. Let's take a quick look at the controller. This is a very familiar controller from SJRC. So you've got these two handles that pull down here. You would think that the drone, your mobile device fits in there, or something like it does on one of the earlier DJI controllers. It does not. That's just a handle to hold on to. USB-C connector right there. Which is handy. Internal battery on here, as opposed to having to load AA's or something. Let's pull these foam pieces off of the gimbal sticks there, and then your mobile device goes on top here. And I'm not going to peel all this off, but that stretches out to hold your mobile device. You do have a LED display here that gives you telemetry that works pretty good. This is your return to home button, on and off button for the controller. Stop button, that's an emergency stop. I tried that out on the SJRC F7, and it works quite well. You just hold that down for a couple seconds and it kills the motors. So you need to keep that, be aware of that. If you had the drone way up there and you held that button down, your drone will fall from the sky. Why is that stop button important? Let's say you had some kind of a flyaway or something, and you wanted, you didn't want the drone to be in the way of something. You could hold that down and bring the drone right out of the sky. This button right here is the speed mode. This drone does have 3 speeds, low, medium, and high. And again, that top speed is 15 meters per second, or roughly 33, 34 miles an hour. You're going to find that's plenty fast. Then this scroll wheel right here is a zoom button. It's got, I believe they said 5 times digital zoom on it. What you're going to find with digital zoom, it'll get quite pixelated, but it is there if you want to use it. This button right here for taking a picture, this button right here for starting video, and then this scroll wheel is what's going to tilt your camera up and down on the gimbal. So let's take a look at the antenna here. We should see in both antenna, we should be able to see wires in there. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera, but I do see them. There's wires in both of these antennas, so that's a great sign. That does mean that this is a fairly powerful remote and should work quite well, so we'll definitely try that out. So what else is in the box? This spot is actually probably to hold another battery, but there's an extra set of blades in here, and I'm sure there's a little wrench, and I'm willing to bet there is a cable in there. And you guys have probably seen all that kind of stuff before, so yeah, there's the cable right on top there. I'm not going to unpack all this junk, but it's a USB-A to USB-C cable. Everybody's seen that stuff before, so I don't see really any reason to dig it out of the box. So then again, on the top here, a couple packages of silica gel as we're used to. And yeah, this little package reminds me of what I just saw on the F7 drone, and that's got all your documentation in it. You know, here's a manual. I'm going to recommend downloading a manual off the internet if you can, PDF on your computer. Trust me, it's going to be a lot easier to read, but this is handy to take out in the field with you in case you have to look something up. So hey, that is essentially it. Okay, so that's I guess that's about it for the unboxing part of this. The SJRC F11S 4K Pro GPS camera drone. So there's nothing left to do but to take this guy out in the field and try it out. So yeah, hopefully we can do this. It's raining today, so hopefully in the next couple of days I'll get this guy out and we'll take a look at it. You know the old saying, let's get this bird in the air. Hey, okay, so I'm out in the field with the SJRC F11S, and I need to tell you, it has been quite some time since I made that initial introduction and unboxing. I did that in early November. It's late December now, and in fact, just a couple days before Christmas. I had an issue with this drone and wasn't able to complete the flight test. The original controller that they sent me was defective, and it kept just pointing the gimbal straight down on the drone. So I got a hold of the folks at Banggood and SJRC, and they sent me a new controller, and it seems to be working fine. So we'll finally we'll get our flight test portion of this done. So now the battery on here, I used partial battery when I tried to do my earlier flight test, and I had this thing on the charger for a couple hours this morning, but I don't think it fully charged. So we're not going to have a completely full battery, so I won't be able to do any kind of a test of flight time. They're advertising 26 minutes flight time, so whatever we get is whatever we get. I do have a second battery from my previous SJRC F11 that I charged up, so hopefully we can get through all of the intelligent flight modes. But let's talk a little bit again about why this one is interesting. This 2-axis gimbal here that shoots in 4K 30 frames per second, as well as the fact that now this S version has increased connectivity, and they're advertising a 3-kilometer range. Now, we're not going to fly this drone 3 kilometers, but we'll check it out, and we'll get a good idea of how strong the signal is, and I see that as a big improvement. But here is the big thing about this drone that I think is important. This drone, I just looked on Banggood this morning. They had it for $229, and that is a price point that I understand is attractive to a lot of individuals. And if we can get good stabilized 4K 30 frames per second video, no, I am not expecting you know, Mavic 3 quality video out of this little drone. But if we can get decent quality video and it's stabilized without jello, I think that's a win. And then if you have a good solid control signal on top of that, that's a double win. And this is the kind of drone for, you know, a casual hobbyist they can buy at a relatively low price point and have a lot of fun with it. So enough jibber jabber. Let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Okay, I've got the drone fired up, and I'm going to start up the controller now. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. In fact, I can barely see it in the in the direct sunlight here, the low winter sun, but it's connecting. And this drone, you just have to be patient. It can take it a minute or so to connect, and there's 2 bars on each side, and when you see both, it says connecting, and when you see both of those bars solid, you'll know that you have a connection. So you just have to, like I said, take your time and give it a minute. Okay, so we got a connection, and it tells us we're in GPS mode. Again, I'm looking at the LCD screen, or the LED screen, excuse me, on the display. So I'm going to take a look and make sure that we are connected. Yeah, so indeed we are. Because I'd had this fired up before, it connected to the SJF Pro, so it's connected on my phone, and that's important. So now the next thing is to fire up the app. And that app is the SJRC F Pro app. And of course I have my phone in upside down, so I'm gonna have to flip it around here. So also, when I was messing with the phone, I realized I didn't have my antenna out. You wanna have those antenna out, and you always wanna point that flat side of the antenna towards the drone. And then looks like it's automatically selected F11S for us here. So we're gonna click on that icon that says controls. And I just realized it says I don't have an SD card. Thank you, SJRC. I'm gonna probably have to fire everything up in order again, but I'll slip an SD card into the drone. So I kind of cheated, and I slipped the SD card in there with the drone powered up. Now I know that's not good for your card, and it may not be good for the drone either. I was hoping it would recognize it. It didn't. So I'm going to shut down. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try just powering off the drone, powering it back on, and see if we're good. Okay, so the drone is connecting again. That was pure operator error right there. So I'm going to shut down the app. That way we'll re-enter that app again, and it shows F11S, so that's a good thing. And it says the card needs formatting, so let's click on it there. Yeah, so we're going to confirm. Yeah, and it formatted the card, and it's happy, so that's a good thing. Yeah, so we're ready to go. So the drone is not asking for it, so we're going to do a compass calibration, and that is both sticks in and up. So we got a decent compass calibration there, and then we're going to do a gyro calibration, and that's both sticks up and out. And it's on a level ground, yeah, and so that's good. So I don't think you need to do that every time with this drone, but because it had been sitting in the box for a while, I thought we should do it. So we're ready to fly. I am going to go into video mode here, and let's go ahead and start video. I'm going to click on the button on the app, and we got the counter, so video is started. And so let's arm the propellers, which is both sticks down and in. And propellers are armed, and then I'm going to go up with the left stick and bring it off the ground. And this drone does not have any downward facing sensors, but I've found it to be pretty stable. And I can tell you this, and I'm trying to adjust the, oh no, what I was doing there was, I think, messing with zoom. Sorry about that. I was using the DJI wheel trying to adjust the direction of the camera. And it's moving around a little bit here. Let's move it back. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Let me pick up that camera. It definitely was moving sideways, and it would have flown right into my into my truck. So we don't want to do that. Yeah, it's struggling a little bit here. So let's see if we can bring it in. It's definitely moving. You know, we probably have a little bit of breeze to that direction, but it's moving to, I guess it would be the drone's left. If I've got the, so we may need to calibrate the controller, and I don't know how you do that on this guy, I'll be honest with you. So let's I'm gonna put it up in the air a little bit so it's above everything. Yeah, it's definitely moving around, so it's struggling a little bit here. It definitely is moving off. I can't let off the sticks and it moves to the drone's right. I was hoping it would settle down a little bit, but it doesn't seem to be doing so. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to bring it back in for a landing here. Let's bring it back in. And I'm going to look and see if there's a method to calibrate the controller here, because we definitely are having, it's definitely not hovering and it's moving around. So I'm not even going to try and get a land on the pad. We're just going to get it on the ground here. And I'm just holding the stick down. Okay, we got it on the ground. I'm going to take a quick look at the instruction manual and see if there's a way to calibrate the controller here. It may be a controller problem. I can't say that for certain. Okay, I couldn't see anything in the instruction manual about how to calibrate the controller. Now, the other thing that occurred to me, even though it says we're in GPS mode, did we have enough satellites? So was it in fact in ADI mode? I can't say that for certain, but let's go ahead and connect to F11S again. And I'm going to see what it says here. And we are evidently not connected to the app. So I'm going to get out of that again. Again, these are the kind of things that, yeah, so it says Wi-Fi connection. Just double checked, we're connected to the drone. So I don't know why the app didn't work there. Let's try that again. There we go. And it says ready to fly, and it's showing 13 satellites on here. So we should be good to go. I'm going to try starting recording on the controller here. And we are. That was a quick press, got that going. Let's go ahead and arm the motors, and I'm going to do an auto takeoff this time, and let's just see if it's any better. We got 12 satellites. That should be good. So I'm going to start the do an auto takeoff. So there it is. So there's the little drone. You know, it's so far so good. It's starting to move that direction again. Well, let's see what happens if I turn it around. Yeah, it's a little steadier, so let's move it over here. I'm going to tentatively see if I can bring it in closer to the camera here. It always seems to want to move to the drone's right, but it's definitely better than it was. So, you know, I don't know what was happening before. I'm going to see if I can drop that gimbal down just a little. So that was a lot. This gimbal control has a certain amount of lag in it, so it can be difficult to be very precise with it. But you know, the drone seems to be holding steady now, so maybe it was just a GPS problem. I can't say, but let's do our manual droney. So reverse and up now. And I'm going up to get over the top of all these trees. And we're going out there a ways. That's me adjusting the vector a little bit. I want to be out over the park. Now let's grab some more height. I can tell you this, the FPV feed looks really good. And yeah, we're about 6 meters per second. Okay, so there's a good look at the park. Let's pick that gimbal up just a little again. And I always, Yeah, see how quick that gimbal moves? You just move the, it's really a deft touch on the gimbal wheel, but at least you can adjust the camera. So let me move to the drone's left, and we're going to go out to the corner of the park out here. And this is a corner of the park that kind of throws a lot of drones off, and I'm gaining a little altitude. I don't know if there's Wi-Fi interference out here or not, but I have seen that a number of drones, I get them out to this corner of the park and we have control issues. And boy, so far so good here. And I'm trying to be easy on the sticks here and bring the drone around. But there we are. That's a look that we see with a lot of drones, a lot of videos that I produce looking out this direction. So I wonder if you can take a picture while it's recording. I'm going to try that. I'm going to push the picture button on the controller. Yeah, I don't think it did. I think I would have to stop recording to do that, and I don't want to do that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and yaw to the drone's left. And it's kind of sluggish too, and there it picked up really fast. It was a little sluggish on that control. Wow, yeah, and then we really overdid it. So that control was, there was definitely a lot of lag there in that control. So I'm going to try going the other way. And let's see what we can do here. And see if we can go to the other corner of the park. There is, like I said, I mean, I don't, you know, the yaw in particular, I seem to have a fair amount of lag in it, so that's why we overshot that so bad. But again, I want to say that corner of the park over there, I've known it to have issues with regard to connection, a steady connection. Okay, and then I'm going to yaw again to the right. Yeah, and it's like I said, it's kind of a deft touch on that stick. It's you know, there seems to be a fair amount of lag, and that's me dropping the gimbal down. I tried to drop it just a little, but it went a lot. So you got to be really, really careful with that. Okay, I'm telling you, what I really like is what we're seeing on FPV here. I'm getting a good FPV signal. Now crooked horizon there as we brought the drone around, as we yawed it around. Let's see if it'll correct itself as we go. You know, that is something that I would be highly critical of a lot of other drones, but a drone in this price range, I'm not going to get too worried about it. And we got about 6.5 meters per second speed. Let's bring it down here a little bit. And I'm on the left stick, and let me tell you what, that yaw is difficult to moderate that. So let me see if I can move the drone around here. Yeah, so I'm trying to do just kind of a manual orbit, but because that yaw is so tough, and then again, you know, like I said, we have a fairly crooked horizon there that kind of straightened itself out. Let's go see if we can go across the road here and see what we see. See if we can get this guy out here a ways and test out what they're saying connectivity wise. And I'm watching the drone above me now. It's tilted forward, moving right along. We got about a 6 meter per second top speed, which is not bad for, like I said, this is a drone that's just a little over $200, so I'm okay with that. So let's just go out here into the field a little bit. Let's raise some altitude. Let's get it up about 60 meters high or so, which is about half, 60 meters, that's about half of max legal. And that gives us a lot of room to for the signal to point up and get to the drone. And again, you know, moving about 6 meters per second. We're out there about 250 meters right now, which, let me tell you, in this class of drone, that is excellent. You know, I've tested a lot of these drones, and they all, you know, talk about their range and so forth, and there's not very many of them that live up to it. And I know this one is saying 3 kilometers, but I'm happy. We're at 400 meters now. We've got a good, strong signal. This is doing everything that they say and more. And it looks like we're about halfway down on battery. So, again, I don't think I got in fact, I know I didn't get a fully charged battery. It's one of the things about this drone. You are going to really have to plan your flights, because you're not going to get oh boy, there's that yaw again. Man, oh man, it's just, the yaw is just so tough to control. There's just so much lag in the control stick here. So that, you know, I was trying to move the drone just a little bit, and yeah, so I'm giving it some more altitude here. And I'm going to see if I can get out to this corner. If I can, I'm going to bank the drone instead of using that yaw stick, and see if I can get out to that corner. And man, this is awesome. Look at this, folks. We are at 750 meters, and we have got a good solid signal. There's just a number of drones. This is a challenging Wi-Fi environment here, so boy, SJRC did a really good job with the control signal on this thing. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to put it into return to home, and let's let it automatically come back to us. Yeah, there, it took the command. And I noticed that gimbal dipped a little bit, but let's see if we can pick it back up. Heck, it's moving right along. It's going faster in return to home. I'm trying to pick that camera up. There we go. Part of the problem with the gimbal adjustment is me pushing the wheel the wrong way. So we were definitely in low speed mode on the way out there. And that's me trying to drop the gimbal down. Like I said, it's a pretty deft touch, but man, I'm telling you, the picture on this thing looks really good. And it took the command immediately, and it's coming right home. We're down, and you know, it's hard for me to tell how far down we are on battery, but I'm going to see if I can drop the gimbal down here. And I don't think this gimbal drops all the way down. Yeah, no, I don't think it does. It doesn't go 90 degrees down. But this will give you an idea of where we're at with regard to where we took off. It's right above us here, so it's reorienting itself. It should be coming down. It's coming down at about 1 meter per second. Yeah. Oh, it's off, and it's in front of us enough. My main concern is that it doesn't try and land on top of my truck or something like that, right? So it's on its way down right now. Let's pick that gimbal back up. There we go. I'm telling you, that gimbal adjustment is something else. Okay, I moved around to stand in front of the drone here as it's coming down. It is closer. There we go. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's going to be pretty darn close. And it bounces a little bit. You saw it bounce around a little bit there. I'm saying it's about 1.5 feet or 2 feet off of the landing pad. Okay, I'm going to put another battery in it, and we're going to try out some of the intelligent flight modes. Okay, I'm fired back up, just waiting for the app to connect here. I noticed that sometimes that can take a couple minutes. And again, you're going to want to be patient connecting the controller too. That can take, 30 seconds to a minute for the controller to connect. Okay, I better check my Wi-Fi. I'm sure it's connected, but yeah, so the Wi-Fi is connected. Okay, so I think it automatically selected F11S that time. Yeah, okay, we got it now. I guess it just takes it a second. So I guess what I'm telling you with the app is just be a little patient too, and it'll eventually connect. So let's go ahead and start recording. And I'm going to take off again. So again, we're going to, you know, I can't remember if you have to arm the motors first on this guy. I'm going to try just pushing the button and see what happens. I think... yeah, no, it won't. You have to arm the motors first. So the sticks down and in arms the motors. So the motors aren't arming. So maybe, I'm willing to bet it wants us to do a calibration again here. I'm going to try and arm the motors one more time. Oh, there they go. So I think we're all right. So I'm going to go ahead and take off on the app. And there it goes. And again, a little bit steadier this time. It's weird. I don't know what happened that first go around where the drone was moving around, but we definitely have a more steady situation. So let's go into the menu. We'll try. Let's just try follow me first. So I'm going to pick the drone up and move it back a little bit. I want to get it high enough that it's above everything here. And again, I always forget how to adjust that gimbal. And remember the lag in the gimbal. Let's pick it up just a little bit more. And I'm going to go into that little, looks like a little joystick on the left side. And I forgot it will do an image follow as well. So let's just try image follow first. And image follow, if I remember correctly, yeah, so I wonder if it's, yeah, it's not seeing me. Yeah, we may have to come down a little bit lower here. Let me pick that, whoop, gosh, I keep pushing the zoom wheel. So let's try that again. See if it's got me. And it does. So if I remember image follow correctly, the drone does not move, but we'll find out if it does here. I think the drone, yeah, the drone, it's just like cameraman mode. The drone is going to stay in place, but it's going to keep you in the frame and keep the camera pointed at you. So that's handy if you are, say, doing a video where you're working on something and you just want to show you want the drone to keep you in center of frame. That'll do it. So that works great. That's an awesome little piece of tech. Okay, so now we're going to get out of there. Click on that. We're out of that. So we're going to go back into that joystick again and GPS follow mode. And what it'll do now, yeah, it says the signal is too weak, which is interesting. So we can try it one more time here. Let's get out of that. Let's try it again. Yeah, it's not, it's telling us that the signal is too weak, but let's see if it'll follow us anyway. No, it's not. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, it's just not, that's just not doing it. So, and I hesitate to bring it down any lower. Maybe what we'll do, maybe what we can try is walking out into the field. So I'm going to back the drone up. I always push the wrong thumb wheel to try and move that gimbal because I'm used to being on that side in a when I'm in a DJI drone. It's on, the thumb wheel is on that side of the drone. So we're going to walk out here and we'll see if we can get it into follow me. Maybe have a little bit better luck out here in the open. Bringing the drone down, and you should see me here in a second. Yeah, there we are. Okay, let me drop the camera down, and again I pushed that scroll wheel the wrong way. This thing is, oh, there's so much lag in that scroll wheel. Okay, let's go into it again. GPS follow me. Follow me ready. Look, it's got me. And it's following me perfectly. Okay, this is more like it. And you know, it's doing a pretty remarkable job of keeping me in frame here. Let's see if we can push it backwards. And we can. The drone is backing up as I move towards it. Okay. Let's head back. I feel the mud caking up on my shoes already out here in this field. They aerated this field and it really made a muddy mess out of things. If you walk out here, the mud just cakes up on your shoes. Let me see if I can gain some altitude and if it'll still follow me. Let me drop that gimbal down. Maybe. Too much. Want to get it above the trees, and let's see if it will still follow me. Yeah, and it is. Yeah, pretty cool. See if I can kick the mud off of my shoes. Boy, I like this. This is a handy feature. So if you're looking for a decent follow me drone, this is it. Now, one of the things you'll notice here is it's not keeping me exactly in center of frame, but you know, that's just the way it is with GPS follow me. Okay, let's take it out of that. Okay, so I'm going to try an orbit mode with this guy. I don't think I have. I don't remember ever trying that. So what we're going to do, the way it says to do it, is you push, and I see, yeah, I must not have, for some reason we stopped recording. I wonder if I went into those flight modes. But anyway, so we're going to do this on the screen recorder, pushing down on both the camera and take a picture button at the same time. Yeah, and so then it's locked the center point. So I'm going to back it off. And then we press them again, and it should start. Yeah, so it's starting the orbit. So let me see if I can start it recording. Okay, there I got it recording. Pick that gimbal up a little bit so you can see. And the drone is doing an orbit. Now I don't remember ever doing that with this drone, and that's a different way of doing it that I've seen on any other drone where you push both of those buttons to start it in an orbit, but it works. So just remember, you have to have it hovering above whatever your point of interest is at the time. So drop that camera back down a little bit and you can see me. What? Just too much there again. Okay, let's see if we can stop it. I'm going to press both those buttons again. Yeah, and that took it out of that mode, so that's perfect. Okay, let's do a quick waypoint mission. So I'm going to go in there again, and I'm going to go into route rules, and we are going to click. So I wonder if we just set them here. Yeah, you just set them with your finger, and I'm going to put one right over the top of us here. And we're going to click go, and we're still recording, and the drone is heading out to its first waypoint right now. And yeah, I'll leave the screen recording up here, or the map here on the screen recording, so you can see it. Yeah, that was pretty simple. And I like the way it gives you the radius of where you can do a waypoint mission. And look at that, it's heading right to that second waypoint. I'll tell you what's interesting to me is that orbit mode. I've had other F11 drones, and I don't think I've ever tried that orbit mode where you push both the take a picture and video button to start the point of interest. So that was kind of an interesting thing. But man, this thing is just performing perfectly, and it's getting ready to head to its last waypoint. So I'm going to switch back to camera mode here, and I'm watching the drone head to that last Waypoint, and boom, it's there. And I'm looking at the drone. You may be looking at this at that tree right there. Let me tell you, the drone is further away from that tree than it looks in this picture. Wow, very, very cool. And we still got plenty of battery, so let's go ahead and kick this guy up a little bit, move it around. I'm saying, you know, battery time seems to be pretty good, so let's just take it for a little flight here. So what I am struggling to remember here is how to put it into high speed and low speed mode, because clearly when I was flying out across the park there, doggone it, that I pushed that zoom button again. So we're going to try that in a second here, but let's, boy, oh boy, I'm telling you, you guys are watching this, I'm struggling to get precise control of that gimbal. But let's go full stick forward here and let's see how fast this guy goes. But when it came back to us in return to home, it was going, man, I think about 10 meters per second. So clearly there's a speed mode on here. Yeah, we're at 6.7 meters per second right now. And we'll try, we'll get out here in the corner here and we'll try this zoom mode out here, and maybe we can even take a couple of pictures as well. So you can see we got partly cloudy skies, but let's go ahead and I'm with that scroll wheel. I'm going to zoom. That's one click, and I don't know how much zoom we're getting here, but it just clicks one at a time with this zoom wheel. Yeah, so that is full zoom, and you know, that's obviously pretty grainy there. So, you know, that's what you're going to expect. You know, this isn't, this is just cropping in on the sensor. So you're not going to expect super high quality zoom, but it's nice to know you can do it if you want to. Okay, so we should be, yeah, that's back out to full, just normal mode. And again, I'm trying to drop that camera down. Okay, I am going to stop recording here for a second. And we are going to take a picture. So, picture receiving, it says. So we'll get a look and see how that looks. And then let's see if I can successfully yaw the other direction. And actually, I'm doing okay this time. Oops, that was a little fast at the end there. And let's go out to the corner here, and we're going to take a picture of the mega Costco over there, the new Costco as I call it, even though it's been there over a year now. But it seems like everything's new. I mean, it wasn't that long ago I was flying out there and it was just an empty field. So, okay, I'm going to move sideways here just a little. And let's stop right there, and let's take another picture. And I'm going to do that on the controller. Picture receiving. Okay, let's start recording video again. Whoops. Maybe I'm trying to do it on the app. Yeah, there we go. So we're recording video again. I don't know how much of that follow me I got video recording on, because when I looked up it wasn't recording, so I don't know what to say. So let's just follow it, or let's just fly it around here a little bit. In fact, it's already in the yellow, so let's do a return to home, and let's see. I'm going to do that on the app this time, and it gives us a slider, and let's see how accurate of a landing we get. Boy, I'll tell you what, it hauls the mail coming home. We were, yeah, well over 10 meters per second. Yeah, and boy, that battery is dropping fast, so it was time to come home. If you're looking at the top of the screen, you've got that battery meter at the top, and it's clear down in the yellow. So, and I like the way the drone reorients itself. And down it comes. It's going to be pretty darn close here, folks. It hit hard. So it's just off the pad. You can see it hit pretty hard there. There's no downward facing sensors on this drone, so it's the barometer that tells it where it's at. But anyway, let's remember to stop recording. And let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay, a couple of corrections before we start our conclusion. So there is a way on this remote to adjust the controls on it, but it's only when it's in non-GPS mode. If you hold down the take a picture button for, I think it said 4 seconds, it'll beep, and then you just simply adjust the controls how you want them, press it again, and it will adjust that trim. So I don't think that applied to exactly what we were doing, but it's definitely, I wanted to point that out. The other mistake that I made in this video was the speed button. So now I knew this one right here was the GPS button. It had been a while since I'd flown this drone and forgotten that's also the speed control. Short press will change the speed. So I think we were in medium speed when we were flying there at 6 meters per second. Obviously when it was in return to home, it was over 10 meters per second. So we could have put it in high speed mode had I simply pressed that button. Okay, the SJRC F11 Pro S. The thing that they added to it, again, was that range. I'm telling you, congratulations, SJRC. The control signal on this thing was perfect. I had no problems with either the control range itself or the FPV signal coming back from the drone, and it looked good. Now you guys will have already seen the video off the SD card. I haven't yet, but I can tell you it looked really good on FPV, so I have no reason to think that it's not going to look really good. And then we showed all the intelligent flight points. Waypoints are really easy to do. That orbit, I don't ever remember doing it that way before, point of interest mode, but it works, and it works well. The image, follow me, remember that's just a cameraman. The drone is just going to rotate and keep you in center frame, but it works perfectly. And then GPS, follow me, again, worked excellent. So wow, this is definitely a drone that I can recommend, particularly in this price point. $229, I'm telling you, that's a pretty good price, and you're going to have a lot of fun with this guy. So in any case, that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And most of all, I really appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And of course, we'll see you on the next one. The SJRC F11 Pro S. All right, see you guys later.